Been in the middle, what, or even if you haven't been in the middle yet, what have you learned so far from this sparring session?
To keep fighting.
Keep fighting. What else? Who else?
Keep your hands up.
Hands up. Who else?
Do not give up.
Don't
Not
give up.
up.
Yep.
Keep moving.
Keep moving. What else?
Be angry.
What's that?
Be angry.
Oh, I don't
Little
know
fire.
about that one.
To have fire.
Fire is better than...
Yeah.
Anger is more uncontrolled, so you don't want to be uncontrolled. You always want to have control.
I always tell my students, never, never fight angry. You always want to be in control. And what happens if you fight angry? What happens?
Your emotion takes over you.
Your emotion takes over. What happens to your energy?
It goes going down.
It's wasted energy.
So is it easier if you've been in the middle to be offensive or to be defensive? Is it easier to be moving forward or is it easier to be moving backwards? Which one? Defensive, yes, because you're not throwing kicks, but you're getting hit, right? So as soon as your hands drop and you start moving back, that's a problem, right? Because you don't have the momentum to turn it around when you get to the 3-minute and 4-minute marks, right? Right?
Yes,
So it's easier to be offensive and keep that momentum going, right? Would you agree? You guys agree with that?
Okay. As far as fighting goes, you guys notice that you're in a box, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And Mary Beth was made some really great points about fighting defensively, going backwards. You have to be just as good fighting backwards as forward. But what about going from side to side? How do you maneuver your way around? Is it better to just be a linear fighter or a circular fighter too?
Circular.
Yeah, so you want to make sure that you're really thinking about getting off the line with your opponent. You don't want to just think about throwing your kicks backwards and the next thing you know you're out of the ring. So think about using the whole ring to your advantage, off-stepping, side-stepping, so that you can take advantage of those angles as well.
Think about our forms. All our forms don't just go up and down. You learn to fight from all different ways and all different angles, which can spill over into when you really spar.
Again, very, very good points. You want to make sure you really take good notes of everything that are being offered, especially at this stage. I just want to make a point about conditioning, right? Sometimes you feel like we do endless reps of calisthenics. It's the same thing over and over again. I know how to do a push-up. I know how to do a crunch. Look, it's 5 minutes is nothing. It's a short amount of time, right? Right?
Yes,
And
sir.
you feel you're finished.
Yep.
Right? You feel you're finished. So conditioning is so important, right?
Yes, sir.
Every time you come to class, whether it looks like the same thing all over again, is because it helps you to survive, right?
Yes, sir.
Right? Vince Lombardi, a very famous football coach, I share this all the time in class. I don't know if you've heard about Vince Lombardi. He says something very important. He goes, fatigue makes a coward out of a strong man. Fatigue, you know what fatigue means?
Yes.
Being tired makes a coward out of us. You could be very strong, bench press hundreds of pounds and stuff. If you're tired, you're finished. You can't last, right? So conditioning. If you take anything away from this, in addition to everything else that Sagunem and the teacher are telling you, is make sure, that you always stay on top of your game. So training is continuous. The moment you drop it, you're going to lose it, right?
Yes, sir.
If you have good techniques, but you can't last 30 seconds, right? It's useless.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We went running the other day, remember? Running, lung power, movements, jump roping, all this stuff. Right. I gave you enough rest.
And just one last thing too. When you're told how much time you're going to be doing some activity, try to pace yourself accordingly. So if to you 5 minutes is a long time, then you want to maybe start off defensive, let the people come to you, and just do what you need to do. And then as you get warmed up, and now you got maybe 3 minutes left, then you go, increase your energy expending. Okay?
Yes,
One more thing to what I was saying. In addition to conditioning, another reminder should be about humility, right? All of you here, inshallah, looking forward to a black belt. Looks very nice and a symbol of power and strength and everything. But know that there are limitations, right?
Yes, sir.
Even with all this technique, you can only go so far.
Yes, sir.
And I was telling Natasha that when we were testing, and I made sure some of the older boys and men in the class go through the same thing. we have something called a sharp pit where you end up fighting the whole class at the end. Little by little, more and more people come, right? You first fight 1 person, 2 person, 3 person up. Pretty soon you fight the entire class, and then you just collapse. Literally, you collapse. You're on the ground. People are kicking you. And Master Kali was telling me, like, look, you know, everybody has a breaking point, right? So your training should not be to a point where you become arrogant and you take things for granted. Everybody breaks.
Yes,
Okay?
Yes, sir.
The one thing that I wanted to add to the angles discussion that we had just a second ago was the sharper your angle, the larger your opponent's angle is. Okay, so here, if we're moving forward and back, okay, we have the same angle that we're moving on, right? Okay, we're on a line. If I make a very sharp move this way, you stay right here, okay? If I make a very sharp move this way, you have to, if you want to keep that foot in front, make a very big move to adjust. Okay? So the sharper your angle, the larger their angle. That make sense?
Yes,
Okay?
ma'am.
So if I want to buy time, this goes to your pacing, right? I want to move this way. Okay? And she's got it, her feet still aren't completely adjusted to where she would want to be to fight, right? You fight this way, you fight this way. Okay, so maybe they are. But do you see the difference? Okay, so a sharp angle is going to make them have to compensate more. Okay, the small angles are going to make them compensate more. Okay, you guys, does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's part of your timing. You know, you want them to be off balance. Why? You're tired. Okay.